Good evening. My name is Jared Alexander, and it is 31 August 2020. This is the physiology class in University of New England. Today I'm presenting the digestive study aid for the short and long reflexes of the enteric nervous system. And we're starting with going over a little overview of it. So the reflexes of the enteric nervous system. So the enteric nervous system is also known as the brain of the gut. It can work on its own, independently of the central nervous system. And it utilizes two main reflexes, a short reflex and a long reflex. Now these reflexes influence secretions of various exocrine and also endocrine, and also aids in motility of the intestines for digestion, both for the mechanical and elimination portion of it. And moving on to the short reflexes. Now, with the stimuli, which are distension of the lumen of the intestine in the presence of food, or change in osmolarity, and stomach acid, those can act as stimuli to the enteric nervous system of the intestines. And what these stimulations can do is they can signal within the submucosal plexus, which signals through the intestinal lumen to begin secretions or motility of the nervous system, the enteric nervous system. Now, any stimulation that arises from the enteric nervous system plexus and ends within the GI tract are known as the short reflexes. It gets this name because it's just a short distance. It stays rather local in that region. Now, the sensory neurons within, again, the submucosal plexus, they receive these signals, and that's when they begin their mechanism of action. And the enteric neurons stimulate various responses within the GI tract, as mentioned earlier. So the myenteric plexus neurons, for example, these ones control the muscular motility of the small intestines and also the large intestine. Now, these smooth muscles change from the influences with these short reflexes for the mechanical digestion. And these neurons also can stimulate exocrine cells of the tract to perform their secretions. And moving on to the long reflexes. So long reflexes get their name because they travel over a much longer distance. They are integrated in the central nervous system, whereas the short reflexes were purely integrated within the enteric nervous system, or the ENS. Now, the long reflexes that originate outside the digestive system are part of the cephalic reflexes, and so they also occur mainly during the cephalic phase of digestion. Now, they are under the autonomic control via the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. And these, again, as mentioned earlier, this is all part of the cephalic phase of digestion, and as such, the external stimuli is a key component to stimulate this reflex. Such things as the sight of food and the smell of food, and also taste of food. Now, the long reflexes travel along the postganglionic, parasympathetic nervous system, and these can target the target cells and also the motor cells of the gastric mucosa, within the gastric mucosa of the intestines. So the stimuli influences secretions from the target cells that line the lumen of the intestines. This aids in secretion as well as with changes in absorption as well, and stimulates the muscularis to change motility. It also can stimulate the release of bile and pancreatic secretions, so the stimulus of ducts, and stimulate the release of enzymes, acid from the gastric lining, and from the parietal cells, and also bicarbonate as well in the small intestine. Thank you very much, everyone. This is finished with this 5 minutes, 30 seconds. So next I'll be talking about the assignment for myself for this. Would, again, from a prior submission, it would be talking mostly about H2 inhibitors and how they work to lower the histamine release in the stomach to help aid in gastric indigestion, and really just working on that as a study assignment, studying how gastric juices can be controlled with external medications, drug sources, that chemistry component. And that's all I have. Thank you.